So, in some sense, we've opened up, right, this eternal question in marketing, which of rigor versus relevance. Now, this is obviously an old debate, but the question is, I guess, for you, is how much say do you think that deans or editors or senior scholars in the field have on the matter? How can we change this conversation to make it more positive, rather than rehashing an old debate?
I think deans have a role. I think the role of deans is largely related to their ability to use their voice thoughtfully, to highlight wonderful examples of research that tells the truth that rigor and relevance is not a one-dimensional axis where you choose your particular place among it. Rigor and relevance are two dimensions, and our goal is to be out in that top right box with as much of the work as we can. And in fact, in many specific contexts in research as well, it isn't really a trade-off. It is really a reflection of the kinds of capabilities and sometimes access that the researcher has. So a dean can create greater opportunities for access to interesting people, to interesting problems, to interesting challenges, to people who are working at those challenges from other kinds of disciplines. In other words, to act to lower the barriers between departments or sometimes from school to school. To provide, for instance, through joint educational programs, more excuses for faculty across a university to know each other better and to have opportunities to work with each other better, and often, but not always, then to do work that is more richly textured with respect to its potential to be to have impact and to have relevance. Senior faculty, I don't want to let my colleagues off the hook either. They collectively, they don't always act as a collective, but it's important for groups within a school to see themselves in this important respect as a collective and to try to speak as to a norm about impact, about relevance, and so on. And I get to, I hope, argue for work that has the kind of rigor that will make us proud to know about it 20 years from now, but the kind of relevance that doesn't lead practitioners to say, great, maybe in 20 years someone will want to use that. And it's a false distinction. There are hugely important, complex, interesting questions right now that are amenable to deep analysis. And many of the greatest researchers in marketing, honestly, through the years, have not seen this as either or. They have seen it as both. I think if most people would list the greatest marketing faculty, I think you would not categorize them as a rigor person or a relevance person. Most of them are at least very good on one and extraordinary on the other. And so I think telling those stories is important as well. Being honest sometimes that the choices that particular faculty are making and are observed to be making by other faculty are a reflection of personal needs or limitations sometimes of the moment, hopefully not forever. Sometimes we're not willing to name those things, and we need to. Sometimes colleagues aren't willing to name those limitations, and we need to. So there's a conversation among senior faculty about what we choose to celebrate that I think can be beneficial. And as I said at the start, I think deans have an important role in that conversation, especially in the celebration part.